0-1. They had a bye on one of yesterday's draws, so this is only their second game of the competition.
Well, it's safe to say that's not the theory that prevails. Maybe they just want to hit the gas pedal in the first two ends.
Yeah, and I like that strategy, but it seems that most of the teams are playing it safe for the first two and then settling in.
Well, they intentionally swept that one in, so let's go with you're getting what you expected.
Yeah, well, they tried the guard on the first one, no good, so now we'll just keep it clean.
Bank some seconds, play it in too quickly.
They are timed games, and yeah, by just putting the broom down, throwing a bunch of open hits, you do save a few minutes in the early ends.
Thinking time shifts it a little bit because it's only while you're thinking, but let's just say these ends are easy to think about.
Yeah, not much thinking to do when you put the broom down. They hit this one. How long that take? 2 seconds?
Yeah. So both teams get 38 minutes total. An interesting twist in this level is there is no timeouts. They just incorporate what's called interventions. So there's 2 interventions per team per half. You can't carry it over, but the clocks run through it.
It's like a timeout, but the clocks do keep running. Both coaches are able to access their teams and offer some advice, and just a little bit more interactive with the coaching staff than you used to seeing on TV.
We often said as coaches of juniors that it would be nice to be somewhere between, say, hockey where you're talking all the time and tennis where you never get to talk to anybody, and that's where they've shifted, and it works quite well. So we're all happy.
Yeah, and a lot of the coaching I've done, I've wished like just a little bit more. I don't need to tell them what to do, but every now and then you'd like to pipe in and say something. And you've seen Curling Canada lead that way. Even the world has finally relaxed a bit where you can chat between ends. Yep. You can. They still only get the one timeout, but at least you can have a brief conversation between ends, and that really makes the coach feel a little bit more useful.
We parallel things like baseball or hockey where when you're not actively in the play, you could go say something to your coach. Curling, why not? Go walk to the backboards and have a quick 20-second chat while the other team's doing something.
Yeah, I have been to 4 World Championships where I was scolded for even looking at a player wrong.
I remember getting yelled at for making hand motions behind the glass, and I wasn't even coaching the team. So I get it.
Yeah. Satay Penny looking for an open hit. I had one where I was on the bench and I stood up just to get a better look at an angle on something, and the official was on me in a second saying, "What? You got to sit down." I was like, "Why? You might be signaling your team to call a timeout or something."
Absolutely.
I said,
Standing might mean something.
Are they calling a timeout? No, I just want to see the rocks. He says, "Well, you have to sit down." So every time a coach stood up for the rest of the week, I say, "He's standing up. He's standing up. He's standing up." And I think he got my point. Canada always had to live under a microscope at those things.
All in the air of sportsmanship and good etiquette. So.
Kaylee Smith hits and rolls. Will it stay on?
Small bite. Yeah. Small bite. Still going to hit it, regardless if it was in or not.
Small bite's just as good as a big bite. If it's in the rings and it's the only thing, good enough. Haley Gushu. Have you ever heard that last name before?
Rings a bell. I can't quite place it.
Well, Dad's watching for now, but I think he's catching a plane later today.
I think he's got an important engagement somewhere.
Yeah, he's got to be somewhere else soon. But Father Brad Gushu is in the building watching daughter Haley. There he is. And he'll be leaving later today to represent Canada at the World Men's Championships in Östersund, Sweden. Or Sweden, isn't it? No, it's Switzerland. Schaffhausen.
Isn't it Switzerland? Yeah.
Yeah, mixed doubles. I've been saying Östersund, Sweden all week. Yes, they are off to Schaffhausen, Switzerland to represent Canada at the World. So good luck to Brad, and I know that he's catching a plane later today.
It was super nice to see him here supporting the family, but it was also super nice to see everybody give him his space and be allowed to be a dad. So compliments everywhere.
He's got bugged for a few photos, but that's to be expected at a curling event.
You got to get a little bit of glamour time. And speaking of mixed doubles, compliments to Lot and Lot for pulling that one out, and good luck to them too.
Yeah, that was I was there in Fredericton all week, and they put on a show. Hard to say clearly the best team all week, but certainly at the top all week, and we were quite happy to see them finally get the win after a couple of close calls.
I know that feeling. I did what used to be the Qualico, calling the games out there in Banff, and TC, and Dropkin were much the same. It was hard to argue against their output. That'll be a good match, the two of them playing at Worlds.
And speaking of mixed doubles, Haley Gushu played mixed doubles in the Newfoundland Championships with her dad, Brad.
There's a few dad-daughter pairs. Cotter and Cotter were also hailing out of the BC area. And we're sticking with the hit and stick on our sheet.
Rebecca Watson here with the last of the third stones.
Well, they're certainly getting a good read on what control hit does.
Yeah. And if the previous several draws are any indication, the nice control weight will move a little bit. Anything more than control will probably track really straight. And if you bring the weight down to that board or hack weight, you can actually manipulate it quite a bit and get around those high guards. So beautiful piece of ice. It's nice and quick, lots of curl, and all the shots are available if you throw them right.
Oh, full compliments to the ice makers on this one. I was timing yesterday, and even in a night draw, it was almost 15 to tee. They were in around 2.5 feet of curl for a board weight hit. It was absolutely a delight because the ice and the rocks weren't differentiators.
Kaylee Locke, skip of this Newfoundland team out of the Remax Center in St. John's. Bonks it on the nose, sits top button. Kaylee Locke was part of the Canadian mixed doubles team that went to the Youth Olympics this year.
Excellent.
With fellow Newfoundlander Simon Perry. Quite an experience for them in Korea, I think it was.
There's been a lot of motion in youth mixed doubles as well. I think they're doing Canadians this year. I had the pleasure of coaching the Alberta mixed doubles junior champion the last 2 years, and they didn't have a nationals for it. So rumor mill has it there will be one for this next season, which would be quite exciting.
And New Brunswick's Melody Forsyth, no stranger to competition at this level, played several U18 nationals and was a silver medalist there, and not her first time at the U21s either. Also Canada Winter Games. In 2023 there was a marathon where a lot of teams were doing U18s, Canada Winter Games, then U21s, almost back to back on different sides of the country. So
busy season.
Busy season for all of them. I know Melody was one of those.
It's certainly mixed for a long season, and highs and lows and memories galore.
And even a lot of these athletes were playing in either the college or university games in Fredericton prior to the mixed doubles. So they only had a week off to go home, reset, and for some of them that makes for a long travel.
Yes.
Long travel week.
One subtle difference there is in the university, it's not age capped, it's university student and I believe years of experience. So the competition is slightly different over there. For example, Alberta had Teo Johnson and Gray Weathers playing out of U of A, if I'm not mistaken. Whereas they're both too old for this level.
Yeah, Johnson Tao was the winner of this event last year, but that team has aged out. And but he's still able to play at the university level, which is kind of the intention of by building the importance of that event is that there is kind of a stepping stone between your junior career and your men's or ladies career. That university level kind of gets you into that next step without throwing you headfirst into the buzzsaw, so to speak, which is exactly what I did when I was 19 years old. I started playing men's and I was
thrown in, eyes wide shut.
No kidding. Started
Here's what losing feels like, and here's what broke feels like, and here's an old car to drive across the country.
And here's playing against your heroes and getting your butt kicked.
Well, I didn't mind that part.
No, that was always fun, but yeah, the first time I played Wayne Mada, I don't think my
hit and roll out, blanked in.
I don't think my mouth closed the whole time. I was just a gas. Anyway, no points on the board. We'll be right back.
When I think New Holland, the first word that would come to my mind, I would think success. I think without it, for me, the success isn't there.
Whenever you deal with somebody so long and they take care of you, you remember that.
New Holland builds products that will continue to evolve and make the farmer more efficient, that can produce food for the world.
Here's to those who ask how. Like Kevin, who asked Janine from Home Hardware how to build a place to work. Or not work. Or Siobhan, who took Josh's advice and created a front yard worthy of this TV commercial. Or Eric and Sasha, who asked Julie how to reimagine their backyard so they could be more outdoorsy. Complete your next project with helpful advice from thousands of store owners and team members across Canada. Home Hardware and Building Centers. Here's how.
A fairly uneventful first end, a lot of open hits, and a blank on the board. So New Brunswick's Melody Forsyth will retain hammer. And Paige Brewer looking for the open hit after Izzy Patterson from Newfoundland throws the first one in.
Well, to your point in the last end, they put their first rock in the 4-foot, so cautious and simple is prevailing.
Nothing wrong with that. Like I said, we do see this all the time. I think the difference is so far that these guys are actually executing. They're normally in our other games, we've seen a few misses or a few draws go through, or there's been a little bit more
steep learning curve.
I was going to say there's a little more precision so far in this game than we've seen in some of the other ones, so that's a good sign for things to come.
You'd like to think on day 3-ish, 2.5, 3, you have a little bit more of a grip and a calm nerve, but they are still U21.
Yeah, there's a lot going on too. Like we said, this is only Newfoundland's second game. All teams have to play some games on the curling club sheets, which are across the hall in this wonderful facility, by the way. But there are 3 more sheets in a different building that they behave more like curling club ice. They're using curling club rocks, and it doesn't have the big arena swing. So it is a very different game over there than it is here. And if you've only played the one game and it was over there, then this might actually be your first chance to kind of sort this ice out, other than your practice.
Yeah, I got to watch a few games over there, and again, compliments to the ice makers for being a standard rink ice. It is moving. It is almost 15 seconds to draw. Like, they've got it as similar as possible. But to your point, something as simple as the flare in your release will behave very differently.
Absolutely, and I only watched an end or two over there, but it was not to disparage it, but it is straighter.
Yep.
Like the curl on this sheet is crazy, and the curl over there is a little more gradual. So
it's probably about nearly a foot less.
That would be a guess.
Somewhere in there, yeah. That's what I was seeing.
But yeah, not in a bad way, but it's just different, and you have to make the adjustment if you're going to play on the other side.
I would say the hitting is where it stands out the most. It's easy to say, hey, take a half a foot less draw ice. That's easy to say. But to judge that control weight or those in-between weights is where you really need to be a sharp eye.
Sete Penny hits and rolls out, and now we might see a little bit of action. Forsyth calling for the corner guard, trying to maybe set something up. This New Brunswick team playing out of the Capital Winter Club in Fredericton. They were co-hosts of last week's mixed doubles national championship that we were just talking about, won by Colton and Kadriana Lott.
Okay, now we get some strategy moments. Chop it off, draw the can, or peel the guard. How defensive do you feel with 2 games under your belt?
16-5. Yeah.
Draw the middle. Oh, chop it off.
Or peel the guard. Trying to choke off the draw path here. This is basically a matter of personal preference at this point. You could walk up and peel the guard. Free guard zone's out of the way.
I suspect a lot of the male teams would have just ripped the guard and kept it simple.
If I was going to throw a draw, I might just throw it wide open, honestly. I don't want to give them a chance to roll behind that corner.
This is, for all intent and purpose, trying to set up a force. You're going to be so far out of the middle. Keeps the hit and roll out of play as long as you're partly buried. But this is not partly buried.
But yeah, unfortunately, that's not even edge on edge. There's definitely an inch of space you can get under there with. You call hack weight, I think.
Yep. Tap your foot. I'm paying attention to see how they actually call their hit weights. Some teams like words, some teams like times.
Right on the nose. No, and I do a lot of coaching, and that's one thing that I don't care what you call it, but you have to be on the same page. If my normal is not the same as your normal, then we got a problem here. So you'll see a lot of the teams call by 9.5 or 10.5 seconds or something along those lines. Jeff Stoughton was famous for throwing nice weight.
Yep.
No, just
or easy. Easy is a very
nice,
middle country term.
When I was with Tyler Tardy, they had minty and fresh. They're normal and a little bit firm.
It'd be very easy to hear them if they yelled out, "It's fresh."
Yeah. There's your first miss of the day.
Opportunity.
And now you got your corner, you got your one in the house.
You're kind of in your own way, so junior deuce or a short tap isn't the end of the world either. I'm not an advocate of grouping your rocks if you don't have to.
No, I agree with that. However, we have seen multiple attempts at the junior deuce so far, and it only works if you make the rest of your shots. And we've seen this setup happen dozens of times, and I would say there's a handful that have actually fully executed. You have to hit and stick, and so far we've obviously seen a little bit of trouble with that, just people settling into the ice surface.
People often misunderstand this situation. The team trying to score the 2 is actually in a position of much harder shots. You have to throw basically 3s and 4s to not set up doubles or whatever. Whereas the team defending it, even a 1 where you just kiss it out the side of the house is good enough. Yeah, so it's way easier to defend a junior deuce than actually execute it.
Yeah, you have to hit and stick, or you have to make your draws, and half shots aren't good enough.
Yep, exactly.
See Haley Gushu, rather. Throw the broom at Kaylee Locke. Haley and Kaylee, so I'm probably going to screw that one up a few more times.
Well, I'll be right there with you, don't worry. Names and me get along brilliantly.
Looking for a big roll across.
Halfway there. Yeah, that's acceptable.
Better than it was is one thing that you'll hear me say quite a bit. It may not be perfect, but it's better than it was. Get that red over towards the yellow. Maybe try to get a mistake out of New Brunswick and see if you can group those close together and make a double later on.
The juniors' ability to make those extremely complex shots is there, and it's remarkable to see it. But at the same time, they have more room for mistakes than the pros, which makes this actually so much fun to watch, to commentate, to interact with, to coach.
This is curling quite a bit, but they're going to get a chunk in a roll.
Okay, roll it, roll it, roll it, roll it. Go, go, go.
I don't know that they actually wanted a roll there. You're not under the guard. You've flattened out the double. You could roll under the guard and take away that other counter. Staying close to the center would have been preferred.
I don't mind the roll there. Spread them out. Make sure that there is no double. Like this is. I don't know that. I know that Kaylee Locke can make a lot of shots. I saw her at the U25 events and where they're doing the Youth Olympic Playdown. She was incredible, and obviously is certainly capable. I don't know if she's got the 6-second crosshouse double in her.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
We're about to find out. As I say, does she have this club in her bag?
I was actually more afraid of the roll under the guard to take out that back counter.
That's really specific. You need to roll a foot, but not a foot and a half.
True.
And she's not.
Well, there's that one. I'll wait till it stops. Ooh, that's unfortunate.
Yeah, just over curls a bit. That was definitely not even the attempt at the 6-second peel. They called 10 out of her hand, and it over curled.
We don't have to vary, but
Hard to miss it that way and not get rid of the yellow. Not get rid of one of the yellows anyway.
Yep.
okay, I think I need a 4.
I'm not sure it got there with the weight they thought it was. The other thing we've been seeing quite a bit with this ice, and maybe to your point of having not played a lot of arena ice, if you start them at all, they move and they move a long way. You cannot start a rock on arena ice.
Yeah, the other thing that you notice from player to player is the amount of rotation and how that'll affect the curl. If you throw it at all soft, it's gone. And we'll see people try to overdo it, get a little extra rotation, and if it's too spinny, it will never get the traction it needs to curl.
Melody's trying to go under the corner.
Yep. Good look at 3 now, provided that Melody can make 2 shots.
There's a lot of finish on this sheet.
Looks pretty good to me. Coming to a stop right at the tee line. And
there's an escape clause. It's a little deep and partly covered. I don't know how daring this Newfoundland team is in the second end.
Yeah, this is a gut check moment. Do you have a perfect freeze in you, or would you rather cut your losses?
The thing I would say is this hit and roll, perfectly in front of the other one, is call it a 50% shot. The corner freeze is probably a 70% shot. Because you're really just corner draw with some backing, which is what you've thrown a lot of. I would say the freeze is more easy to make, but then you're looking at a 4, so this will feel a whole lot better.
Yeah, I tend to agree.
I certainly would not advise them one way or the other. I would say pick the one you're most comfortable with in the second end.
Even without the roll here, you're forcing Melody to make the nose hit for 3 and not roll out.
Absolutely.
And if you can get the roll, that becomes a lot more difficult.
This one is also curling quickly.
Maybe get the double. No.
Draw for 3.
Now that's one that I think they knew soon enough that they were over curling that you could have called the audible and maybe try to get the wide double. You just needed to rub that back yellow on the way by.
It's the same pretty much.
What I find fascinating about those 2 hits is they've just played an entire end full of hits. They know what the ice is doing. And watching them in the pre-practice, they were all intentionally flaring at the broom. They were 2-3 inches wide regularly. Both of those throws struck me as a little softer, more cautious.
The other thing that we've seen a lot of, I feel like the inside-out center line towards the boards is so much harder to control.
Sure.
And especially on that one, I always play outside in if I can. I find it's a way more predictable, way more simple to put the broom down and call a line than inside out.
You're dating our generation.
Yeah, I know.
That's what we were all taught. Outside in with a peaked center.
No, I agree that might be old school thinking, but here we are. 3 on the board for New Brunswick. They take a 3-0 lead. We'll be back with the third end right after a short break.
Nutrien Ag Solutions. Everything you need to win the season and go full seed ahead.
This is it. It all comes down to this rock. The hours in the gym, the weeks away from my family. This is what I've been training for. And all those voices trying to tear me down, I'm here to silence them. We've given everything we have for a chance to get everything we want.
Three points on the board for New Brunswick's Melody Forsyth. You are watching the New Holland Canadian U21 Championships from Fort McMurray, Wood Buffalo, Alberta. I'm Brian Chick here with Gord Coppathorn, and we are settling in for the third end of action between Newfoundland's Kaylee Locke out of the Remax Center in St. John's and Melody Forsyth out of the Capital Winter Club in Fredericton. Big end there from New Brunswick. Started out pretty simple, but all of a sudden a couple of misses and 3 goes up on the board.
One of the things I preach like crazy, especially mixed doubles, patience and perseverance. If you just play your game calmly and are patient about it, you'd be amazed how often you just capitalize on opportunity, and that's what that was.
That was always the Colleen Jones philosophy. Like, well, sure, it's going to be boring. I'm going to hit, but you're going to miss before I do. And as soon as you miss, I score 2.
Exactly.
And I'm not going to miss a whole lot of open hits. So, so that strategy certainly works for some people.
So now we're going to see Newfoundland probably dial it up a little bit. You'll see guards pretty much every end now, I suspect. 3 early is not insurmountable, but it's not going to feel good either.
Yeah, this is something that the emotional maturity kind of gets tested here. So, you're only down 3. You've got 8 more ends to play. You do not need to panic yet.
Yep. Newfoundland's coach is going to say the same thing. Be patient. Don't go for crazy shots. Wait for your opportunities.
Yeah, try to take your 2. Don't try to get it all back at once. Newfoundland's coach, by the way, is Sandra Sparrow. And Wayne Talon coaching the New Brunswick team. We haven't had any interactions yet, but at some point they'll poke their head out and offer their 2 cents.
I like to see at this level where the teams spearhead interactions. Once you're out of U18, it really is to the point where they should be turning and saying, hey, what's your opinion on this? But not always. All right, we got double corner guards. That's not that bad. That's good to use for later.
Yeah, not the call, but not a bad result either.
That's what I've seen a lot as well, is the teams that make smart misses versus unfortunate misses, and those dogpile quickly.
Yeah, I should really put out a book of curling coaching cliches, but one of the things I say the most is that the pros don't make everything, but man, do they miss better than you.
Yep.
And that's really the crux of it all, is that if you can, like I said, improve your situation just a little bit every shot, try to put no zeros on the board. I'll take some 1s and 2s every now and then, but no zeros. And that was a good miss.
It's a hard thing to teach people, is be aware of the terrible miss and don't sweep yourself into it. Trying like crazy to make the perfect hit and you sweep it into the horrible hit. That's the skill of a good back end.
We've all been there. And I think the other thing that teams I mean, really need to work on, and to that point is rock management. Once you learn how to throw it and you learn how to call a game, what's really going to make the difference is how you handle that rock as it travels down the ice. When you sweep, how you communicate. Sweeping early versus sweeping late. You know, is it line that you need, or is the weight more important?
I also say don't do hopeful calling. And I aim that mostly at sweepers.
Yep.
Don't tell me what you hope it is. Tell me what you somewhat pessimistically believe it is.
Hit and roll under from
Very nice
Penny.
shot.
Didn't get the double, but that really wasn't the priority. They got that red pretty buried in behind the guards.
New Brunswick had a good stagger on those. The double was rolling open, and I think being under the guard is a much more effective play. Even if they make this run back, you can now do that same hit and roll a little bit deeper.
Yeah.
So I like that.
So you see Kaylee Smith take on the run back here. Yeah, the other hopeful calling is if you're the skip and you know that the thrower threw it badly, don't hope that it's going to curl 6 feet and you're going to make the shot. Go to plan B as soon as you can, and you're going to get a lot better results more often.
That's that whole don't sweep it into a mistake. Don't sweep it because you hope you can make it. Say, I don't think I'm going to make this. Let's do something decent with it.
All right, Kaylee Smith looking for the run back. Very nicely done. Gets the red, keeps the yellow. Rattles things around a little bit.
I think they would have been a little happier without so many guards out front, but you know what? A run back is typically going to leave you a guard somewhere.
Yeah, that was essentially a nose hit, so that shooter wasn't going anywhere. But it does open up the path to around those two corner guards. So Satay Penny looking for the in-turn draw to the wing.
I'm quite happy to see them leaving that side yellow alone. That's not a hit worth playing right now.
Yeah, that kind of comes back to the emotional maturity of you have to be okay with leaving some rocks in uncomfortable places until it's time to deal with them.
Shot rock is not the key here. Hidden rock is the key here.
Exactly. And I would say that's pretty hidden. Well done by Satay. That's almost perfect.
I don't mind here, but I think go here first. That's good. For 1, 4, 2. I like a 4, 2. Top 4 weight.
I don't mind this. The double guard would be a bit tricky for them to clean up. So just accept that there's a double guard there. Keep the play to the side. You have shot rock still. I don't mind this.
I don't love it personally. I'm not a big fan of drawing around their corners when they have hammer.
The alternative is you could go around the center.
Which is what I'd be doing.
I don't have a problem with that as long as you're not setting up a double with the side one.
Is it heavy, girl?
Up 3, I have no issues chopping this side off.
Line looks pretty good here. This is one of those great if you make it shots, and it looks pretty good.
What's Russ's comment? It's only the wrong shot if you don't make it?
Exactly.
I didn't mind that. Simply where I was going with it is unlikely they were going to have the gumption to make the double peel, so don't worry about those two front ones.
Yeah. That's as good as a takeout. That rock is never going to score the way this setup is unfolding, but no, I don't even remember who. Somebody beat it into me. Don't draw around the other team's corners when you don't have hammer.
You'll see more and more of that coming out of people that play mixed doubles, because that's becoming an acceptable negator of the power play.
Oh, for sure. Mixed double is a different game for a lot of reasons, but especially that one.
But you see the strategy creeping into 4-man in certain scenarios is where I'm going with that.
Well, that's pretty good. Needed another inch of roll. Great attempt by Haley Gushu. Got the hit. Got a little flop. Could have used a floppier flop.
You almost would like to see that.
That's a technical term.
Overflop. More floppy flop. Because if you had peeked out the other side, then at least the rocks are traveling towards that other yellow that's giving you grief. So, unfortunately, the right way to err on that would be roll a hair too far. Because this right here, everything's just going to roll to what would be the skip's right side of the sheet, and that's not helping get rid of that other pesky yellow.
This is Rebecca Watson just ticks the guard. Now that
guard is neither great nor bad. That yellow was very well protected, but it's this very draw, you could very easily hide another rock behind it.
Right now, it looks to me as though the red is the shot stone, but don't quote me on that.
We also got a lot of rocks to come, so it may not be there too much longer.
It might not matter, but a good draw from Haley Gushu here can potentially sit 2 for red and put Newfoundland and Labrador in a pretty good spot. Maybe a bit tight on the line, though.
I hear a lot of T, and I think you'd really love this to be higher than that yellow one.
The line's good. And
right about there.
just a few feet too heavy, but I think red does sit too. That red is totally buried, but you just saw how much finish there is on this. They were well by the guard, and it actually poked quite a bit out the other side.
Half a rock over buried, yep.
So this draw is certainly there for Melody Forsyth, just to lob one down and sit T-line totally buried with a bunch of catchers behind. So a good shot here will
They must feel
turn
like
it around.
yellow is second, because that hit and roll would be awfully tempting if you were sitting third. Because you could roll to basically a shot position and get rid of a counter. But to the point, if yellow is shot, freezing the back one is a very comfortable shot.
Our overhead angles are not quite perfect, not quite as perfect as standing over it and looking straight down the edge, but so they can be a little misleading sometimes. And like I said, don't quote me on that, because we're just looking at the same monitors you are, and our guess is as good as yours.
This is very similar path to the red one, so that's good.
Similar weight too, I think. Should be right to it.
Nice shot.
Really nicely done. Takes away the threat of a big end, but you'll see Kaylee Locke just do the exact same thing. Yeah.
And hope for a small miss.
Hey, girls, what are we thinking here?
They'll be stacking up high enough that that red one could be a redirect rock. It could be...
I'm liking that.
If they make this freeze perfect and they play some draw back, you may still be sitting one drawing for 2, short tap for 2. There's a good situation here. A 2 would be a good thing for Newfoundland.
Kaylee Locke looking for basically a T-line freeze behind the guard.
Line is a little bit tight.
That one looked like it just went sideways. Weight, I think, was pretty good, but it almost looked like it grabbed a little bit and right around the hog line took an extra bit of rotation.
I was watching her release because she's coming right towards us, and it still strikes me that she's kind of soft with it. Like, she's not an assertive release like the rest of the players are pulling off right now, so she's probably getting a few more inches than she's expecting.
She did play in the Youth Olympics earlier this year, so she would have experience on arena ice at the world level, so she would be no stranger to that pokey release. But maybe that wasn't quite pokey enough.
It could be simple as kicking too hard. It's hard to have a positive release if you're grinding down to try to get the right weight. I'm sure we've all been there before. You can't extend when you think you're heavy.
I do the opposite. If I'm heavy, I pull and I kind of throw from my armpit. And my buddy calls that the T-Rex, because my arm just good about coming out of my chest.
This one's curling early.
Also over curling. Are they going to sneak it by? I don't think so.
No. Both of those shots, call it 6 feet lighter than the first attempt and 3 inches more curl.
So, Newfoundland and Labrador are going to have to take on a short tap on the top red that's wide open. Got to move it about a foot to outcount the back yellow.
Draw to the 4 foot with a rock in the way.
Okay, back for it, Max. okay? So that was the first
Too many people visualize taps as versions of hits. They aren't. They're just draws with a rock in the way.
Exactly, and you don't have to throw that much more weight. I think the other, like you said, the people tend to overthrow them. They think I've got to move this rock, and so they add multiple feet. Where if you're throwing a nose tap, that almost all of that energy goes from one rock to the next. So you really only need to throw maybe another.
That's okay, girls. That's okay.
Rocks with the weight. You know, one extra foot is good enough if it's going to be on the nose. This looks like a lot of weight, so you don't want to hit this one on the nose.
This looks a bit like a hack weight takeout to me.
Line's good, but it's got too much weight, I think. Yes, it goes a little too deep. 1 yellow on the board. Another steal for New Brunswick. That'll be 4-0 after 3. We're going to take a break, and we'll see you in just a minute.
When I think New Holland, the first word that would come to my mind, I would think success. I think without it, for me, the success isn't there.
Whenever you deal with somebody so long and they take care of you, you remember that.
New Holland builds products that will continue to evolve and make the farmer more efficient, that can produce food for the world.
Hey, Canada, come on into Montana's, where weekdays have turned into deal days. Why not check out our half-price wings every Monday, $5 tacos on Tuesdays, all-you-can-eat ribs Wednesdays, and drink deals every day, only at Montana's.
Welcome back to the Suncor Community Leisure Center at McDonald. I'm going to get this right one of these times. McDonald Island Park. I try to rush through that. McDonald Island Park is quite a facility here.
It's a marvel. Absolutely a marvelous facility.
It's got everything you could ever ask for in terms of recreation and athletics. It's got field houses for sport. It has a swimming pool and water slides. It's got a fitness center. It's got ping pong and squash and a rock climbing wall and a golf course and restaurants, and this place is just amazing. So really enjoying being here in Fort McMurray Wood Buffalo, and the host committee's done an excellent job in this wonderful facility. So all the athletes are having a great time, and it's been very well run. So we're quite happy to be here.
I have yet to find an undotted I or an uncrossed T. They've done a really good job of putting this event together.
So another steal on the board, well, a steal on the board for New Brunswick Melody Forsyth. It seemed like Kaylee Locke maybe threw a little too much weight, as we were talking about with that short tap. And going back to that rock management, I think they probably knew it was a little bit heavy, and at that point you have to sweep for a thinner angle to maybe not hit that second rock so hard. And such was not the case, and a steal goes on the board. So now you might see Newfoundland and Labrador get a little more, lean a bit more to that full green light offense side.
Everything is off it. Now that corner guard they threw up is really far over there. So you could even stand to throw a second corner here to create a wider corner to work with. You've already seen New Brunswick is so far shown no indication of running out there to peel guards. So you could benefit from another corner here. This is going to be a tough corner guard to hide 4 rocks behind.
Again, still early going. You don't need to get 4, but you definitely got to get 2 on the board here. This one also over curling. You might get your double corner anyway. A little tick.
That's fine.
All right, they got that side of the sheet covered.
They got corners to work with, and they own that half of the sheet. That's a good thing. Those 2 yellows are both very easy to play off of. There's enough of a stagger. You could come around and corner one. There's opportunities abundant so far. What I love about this kind of ice is you can actually make a valuable corner freeze with 2 rocks that are 6 feet apart. Not easy, but doable.
Looking for the center guard. This has to finish a ton, but that's usually not a problem on this ice because from the hog line in, you do get 3 or 4 feet of curl if you throw the right weight, obviously. But that one walked right over. Didn't look like it was going to have a chance. And from the hog line in, just wandered right back to the center line.
Arena ice, the last 6 feet of a guard goes almost sideways.
Yeah.
And you see more over curl than under curl. So that's a trust it.
Yeah, that's... Take a little bit extra on this surface for sure because that finish is real.
You see a lot of corner guards that are crossing centers, which is another taboo in our days of learning. You never threw a cross center with a guard if you absolutely didn't have to for fear of throwing a center. But here they curl so far, you have to.
So just a near miss on the run back attempt.
Another almost corner guard, corner-ish. Usable corner-ish.
And that red on the left side doesn't necessarily make that double harder. It just makes it look harder.
It's not in the way if you throw it right, but it sure is in your view, in your vision, a distractor.
And sometimes that's enough.
It's funny how it almost steers you into them when you just have the corner of your eye. Don't hit that thing. So New Brunswick's looking to put more in the way, which... I don't know how I feel about it because you're up 4. You don't want guards, but you have 2 in the house, so you kind of want to protect them.
Now, one of my other coaching cliches is make the other guy throw the hard shot.
Yep.
And that's what they're doing here. They're making Newfoundland take on all the run backs, and you're going to have to deal with that rock in the top of the 4-foot at some point, and there's no easy doubles there. So say mission accomplished. You come after me if you want to score. Maybe not the most textbook play, but if you can steal another 1 or 2 here, this game is...
It's very much a comfort thing as well. The opponents aren't at their sharpest, and your team has not missed much, so taking some riskier chances is working out fairly well so far.
The other thing you see a lot of is a team that is being successful by getting rocks in play and, you know, stealing 2s and 3s and putting big numbers up. If they switch gears and try to go defensive, that can I've seen that backfire so many times because they don't execute the hits or the peels, and all of a sudden the other team gets back on the board because you've mixed up your strategy. So why don't you stick with what's working? If you're outplaying them in the draw game, keep playing the draw game.
I like to explain to people that if you watch the pros, they almost all have their favorite way to play and only switch when they have to. Yeah. That's much to your point.
Is it over?
Got it.
You're over curling a lot.
Working hard to get this one over, but we'll make it. And
we'll make it. Yeah. Okay. And there's that little end swoop.
Yeah.
So it's almost not a guard.
Yeah, that one.
It's high enough that it's almost not a guard.
Too high.
Yeah.
If you're looking for, you can even play a hack weight hit and roll here. Even board weight, hit and roll across to open up the back one, move your rocks under your 2 corners. That guard is definitely high enough.
Yeah, from this angle, it looks like they're almost perfectly lined up. Maybe that back one's sticking out an inch, but because that guard is so high and this ice is so swingy, you can definitely get a good chunk of that yellow, like you said, with hacker board weight and get that roll. But it looks like Kaylee Locke is calling for a draw or a freeze on...
She's playing the freeze to the back one against the subtle stagger. So this is kind of what I was saying before. This ice curls enough, you can do it, but this is no easy shot.
Line looks pretty good if the weight's right.
This is really close.
they're by, and it's locked on.
Like daughter, like father on that draw.
Great shot from Haley Gushu there, and good news, bad news. It's a great shot, but one more guard here from New Brunswick, rather, can really put the screws on.
It's going to be hard to score. If you figure out how to score, it's a good chance of being the 2. But yes, another guard is not going to make this any easier.
Yeah, we haven't seen any attempt to use the 2 New Brunswick corners, but they might be your savior later on if you can run one of those in. Just going to have a like McEwen, Dunstone kind of feel to it. And I've seen Kaylee Locke make those. She was part of the mixed doubles team at the Youth Olympics, and in the qualification they went to a best of 7 series, so I got to watch a lot of her games, and that's very much a mixed double shot where there's a pile of rocks in the forefoot and you're trying to run one in to make them all count.
I'm kind of feeling another freeze. Stack one on your own.
Exactly. I like that at this point. And
no harm. You still have that slash, and now you're going to make it for 3 instead of 2.
Perfect.
That New Brunswick guard protected you as much as them.
Yeah, New Brunswick must know that they're always leaving that run back, and sometimes that's a risk you're willing to take. If you make it, you can have it.
Yeah. I actually had a skip once that said he loved those because he had no choice.
Yeah.
You put the broom down, you know how to ice it, and you throw it. There's no doubt. There's no, maybe I should do this. You just take the hard shot and you throw it, and it's almost easier in some levels.
Yeah, when you're out of options, if you only got one choice, you get up and throw it.
Yep.
Right up, line's good. Make sure
And some people love those shots. Now this one's looking a little lighter than the first attempt, so.
No. Okay.
Unfortunate miss there. You almost would have even loved to seen one in the back 8, if anything. Like, you bring in a second or a third point if you're anywhere in an 8-foot.
Yeah, you could have been a little heavy, chip off, roll back or something, but so New Brunswick eyeballing those corners, seeing what the threat is actually looking like.
They're really not afraid of those 2 angled rocks.
That one's harder, but it's still there.
Right now, you could actually put something tight guard-ish to take that slash kind of shot off.
Oh, we got a coach's interaction here. Wayne Talon coming out. We'll listen in.
Just guard the guard.
Well, she has both.
Yeah, I know, but that one's a lot tougher. This one here's a lot easier.
Okay.
Okay, so guard the...
You don't like coming in around back
No,
four?
no.
Okay. Just guard?
that.
Okay.
So they're going to guard the guard. We'll draw it up. The shot in question, if we can get the overhead.
There you go.
So this is the shot they're worried about. The run into there.
No, yeah.
There's also this one, but it's so much thinner that they're going to allow, they'll leave that one there. Just it's much harder to make, so they're not so worried about it. But the first one is, in fact, very makeable, and so they're just going to guard that guard.
So to your point of you play the easy shot, make them throw the hard shot, the guard's the easy one.
Absolutely.
I wouldn't be against throwing it top 8, top 12, almost freezing it yourself. Worst case scenario, you give up 1. If they make that run back, yours is in the middle of the whole thing, I wouldn't be against giving up 1.
No, not with a 4-point lead.
Yeah.
A force would be great.
So you could basically follow Haley's shot down and just create an in-the-house guard.
Yep.
These are tough when you're throwing a 2 feet over the hog line guard on a guard.
Line looks all right. This will finish up, but they might over curl as well.
Working to get it over, and that just carries the curl.
You got to get it over the line. And it just makes it.
Where we're sitting, I don't know they took that that raise away.
It's in the way, but it's still pretty high. But
I think you got to give it a run. Give it, throw control at it, and you either take that guard they just threw off, or you make the angle run back.
And we'll have another coach's interaction here. Sandra Sparrow out to chat.
What do you think, Brian? Is it worth it now? There's no harm in taking that yellow guard they just threw off.
Or you can put a front but you can't think he's just putting something back. So I think that shot's still there. Okay. You need to hit just more than what you just got to get by it. Okay, am I throwing like... You're throwing board weight. Yeah, board weight. And I think that's what you got to do. All right, let's do it.
Nice decisive conversation there.
Yeah, and I agree. Get that. I think they're going to take it on.
You don't have a lot, but you don't need a lot. You're only trying to hit third.
Let's go for
it. I would be tempted to try to run the guard that was just thrown into the center of the pile here to maybe create a few more opportunities, maybe open up a lane where I didn't have to throw a 10-foot run back on my last one. If you could go the high yellow into the staggered at the on the center line, you might be able to open up a path where you can just play a board waiter onto the chunk of red that you could see. However, this is another one. Great if you make it and play it tight, and if you get the guard out of the way, that's not terrible either.
That's the only reason I'm preferencing this one, is even if you miss it and take the yellow out, you're at least still leaving yourself something.
Oh, she's close. Will she sneak it by?
Oh! Well, that's not going to help. Ooh, okay.
Well, it did give you a second option, maybe.
Yep. I was afraid it was going to slide under the other red, which would have been tragic, to say the least.
So close. If that just sneaks by,
more rotation.
like that just took the paint off, and if she sneaks by, I think that was probably really close to made.
It was really, really close. Now, interestingly enough, they're having a conversation in the background, I don't know if you caught it or not, about hers over curling. They were talking about whether she needed more rotation or whatever, because that's now about the 4th or 5th in a row where hers over curled. So that's a good observation on their behalf. Something has to change.
Yeah, good thing to be aware of, and we've had several games on the sheet. We haven't had any complaints about the rocks, so it's got to be something that maybe she's doing with her release. So this was an interesting conversation. She said, I got to spin it.
Trying to keep the curl out, because as you saw that last one, they were barely on the sheet when they threw it, and it still is only 2 feet off the center line.
Yeah, so looking for a little bit extra rotation to try to fight that big curl.
So we need, do you want a 45 with a spin then? Because it'll carry more.
This is one of those wily old veteran tricks that not everybody knows at this stage of their career, but yeah, you throw a little extra rotation and this rock won't have the traction. Look for extra rotation. Yeah. Won't have the traction to actually grip and start to curl.
It's in the front. Line's good.
3.
Yeah. 4 rotation.
4. Oh, that would be more. We're at 5 now. Typically, people try to throw in the ballpark of 5, 6. There's where we're at. I would say that was exactly what they talked about. 7 rotations.
Again, one of those wily old vet tricks that I don't know that a lot of 18-year-olds have mastered yet, but well done by Melody Forsythe to put that rock right where she needed to.
So there's your point. Mastered meaning practiced. That's what I fear more than anything, is when people start calling shots that they see or have seen but don't practice. Mixed doubles, we saw it all the time with the backward split. People started seeing it be successful, but nobody had practiced it, and it was not working out until they started practicing it.
So we're looking for a red onto yellow, onto red onto yellow, just to bump
Get your
it.
one, yeah.
So
you could just do red, yellow, red, tapish raise. You could
I think that's the call.
But
I think that's the call. Just bump the top 4 red enough to count. They're not.
Maybe a little chap off the yellow one.
Yeah.
They called 11.
You're going to lose a little steam on each of these transactions here. And just wide. Another point on the board for New Brunswick. A lot of rocks in play for 1 point, but here we are. So 5-0. We'll be back right after this break.
Everything I've worked for, everything I've sacrificed, has led to this. It's out of your hands now. All the gold medals in the world can't help you now. You could throw the perfect rock and still miss, but it just takes one. You leave it all out there on the ice to leave behind a legacy.
The sports landscape continues to change, and teams and facilities are under more pressure to provide online and in-venue entertainment. They need the right team to deliver their product. Look no further than IKS Live. We provide service across North America and produce the best fan experience across all platforms.
Into the fifth end we go. Newfoundland trailing New Brunswick 5-0. We're getting a million rocks in play, but somehow only putting 1 point on the board.
Well, one thing we're seeing is that New Brunswick is getting shot rock first and then not losing it. Here's a different approach. We are now going to go around the center and be shot rock first.
Yep, that's not necessarily what I would be doing down 5. You got to be taking on all the risk now. You got to throw your guards. You need stuff to play with, and
it's a compliment and a cringy coach moment.
And I think this is really unfortunate. That has to go back.
Yep. Center guard.
Yeah, that rock was touching the center line. We are playing the no-tick rule, and even though it moved it an inch, that's enough to have moved it off the center line.
Yep.
And thus it is replaced and the shooter comes off. So that's not going to help you generate a big end.
That's the big difference between the center line rule and the free guard zone rule. Free guard, as long as it stays in play, you're fine. Center line rule, it cannot get moved off the center line.
Yeah, and I know it's impossible to enforce, but I feel that there's a difference between I rub the guard trying to make a draw
intent versus
intent. And then exactly, if you're intentionally trying to throw the tick, that's one thing. But if you bump the guard and you leave it an inch apart,
innocent attempt that didn't work out as planned.
I feel that in some cases that should be allowed, but I don't know how you possibly enforce it.
I will agree emphatically. That was no ill attempt. That was just a rub.
Yeah, and sometimes that was still going to be good for both teams if both rocks were allowed to stay.
To your point, though, I appreciate them switching gears and trying something different, but I don't think playing around the center is going to garner you the outcome you're after right now.
We saw the Ontario boys a couple of nights ago they were just started throwing center guards. Instead of throwing corners, they said, okay, that's not working for us. Let's just get everything in the middle and we'll play around it. Instead of, wasting their time on a corner guard they're never going to use.
Yep.
And it was an interesting approach, but it said we're going pure offense, and it was fun to watch because it was just a little bit different.
A lot of newer curlers that I'm helping out, that's what I'll say to them is don't confuse yourself with play to the wings, because you throw a corner guard in 40% of the time you can actually use it.
Yeah.
If you're just learning or you're struggling, put everything down the middle and make the other team earn. I'd like to think at this level they can play both strategies, but it hasn't been working. So, you know what? Sometimes trying something different just works.
Looking for a run back here. And not ideal.
I would say a very very successful shot for Newfoundland.
Which is unfortunate when New Brunswick threw it, but Kelly Locke calling for the hit and roll wide. Sate Penny going to take it on.
So Newfoundland has one nicely buried, trying to roll away. Rolling under will also work. Keeps them a little close together, which is why I think she was trying to roll away, as it was so high, those rocks are very close together.
A good plan B, though. I'd rather roll buried and give them a potential double than to roll wide open. And these are still tough to get at. You got to play the run back double. That will fall to Kaylee Smith. Looking to hit this yellow just a sliver on the high side.
A bit narrow on the broom, but getting rid of the guard is not a bad outcome either.
Yeah, just didn't quite get out to the broom. They were sweeping it right away.
I'm surprised they aren't calling a guard here.
I am too, actually, because that double is very makeable.
Yep. If I'm New Brunswick, I'm very happy with this call because then I get to make a free double and it's down to just scoring 2. If you put the guard back on, you're at least giving yourself a chance at 3.
Exactly. You throw that guard, assuming they miss the run back a couple of times, and then at the end, you might have a shot for 3. But this is kind of the junior deuce attempt again, but you have to make your next 4 shots pretty much perfectly.
Yeah, we talked about that before. So yeah, if you were only down, 3-0, maybe 4-0, this is what you may like to play if you comfortably do junior deuces. But down 5, I would certainly have thrown a guard.
Well, regardless, well executed.
Exactly as drawn up.
The weight was good. I'd say it was good, clean peel.
Now into third stones. This is Rebecca Watson looking for the double. It's basically a nose hit.
Plenty of weight, but narrow of the broom again.
One goes.
Interestingly enough, they've forced New Brunswick to switch into a hitting game as opposed to what they've been doing so well, which is drawing, and we now have 2 reds all by themselves in the house.
Yeah, now the tricky part is where do you put a third where there's the least chance of a double? Or the smallest chance, rather.
Those 2 are so flat, I'm remiss to move either. I don't mind drawing behind one if you want to go behind it. You don't need to tap it backwards. You can make a draw actually go back there. You could even play outside. Little hard out there.
I like that.
I fear taps on these ones because too often you get ginger and you leave them very, foot or 2 apart.
Right.
If you play for the draw behind it, and you're playing back 8 weight, you may split them, and that's also not a bad outcome.
Looks like they've decided on the draw to the back 8 foot, which I can agree with.
I'm just trying to make it a double that she doesn't have to know if they're good off.
It's kind of your perception statement earlier. A 4-foot tap looks harder than draw the back 8 foot, even though it's virtually the same shot.
Yeah. The name of the game here is try not to bunch anything that's a really easy double or worst case line up a triple. But as long as you're kind of back behind the tee line here, there's tee line or deeper, there's really no easy double. But this one,
3 in a row.
That is not really ideal. Those are going to be, there's definitely a makeable double.
Yes.
Couple makeable doubles, but the one's really makeable right there. That barely enough room for a rock to go between, and those are usually pretty easy to find the mark.
I was going to say, if you make a field goal here, something went really wrong. This is simply a don't overthrow it. Don't do something crazy. Just throw your standard hit.
Playing the in-turn, again, going inside out on this.
One, 2 in the corner. Excellent throw.
Almost found the space between them, but got just enough and rattled through. That was an inch off disaster. Just enough.
There's that, didn't overthrow it. Threw your nice, normal Your sweepers could help. Every half an inch helps.
Yep. Haley Gushu looking for a nose hit in the back 12. Two still definitely in play for Newfoundland and Labrador.
A guard still would have been an option.
Trying to make it curl. And just does not come up enough. And there goes the chance at 2 without a mistake from New Brunswick.
Not to be critical, but the hit there was probably number 3 on my list of choices. You had guard, freeze, or hit. I don't think he needed to risk the rollout on that, but if that's what they were comfortable with, it was a makeable shot.
Heels curled a lot. Do you like this or more? I feel like for me, this should be close. No, you guys weren't tight. It just went. So.
Yeah, I think the freeze there might have been, you know, giving in retrospect some hindsight here. I think I like the freeze too. It just you're behind. You need to generate some points, and leaving that rock in the house one way or the other is going to be more critical than getting rid of a rock in the back 8 foot.
And it was second shot, so even if you didn't come totally to it, you're looking for mistakes to help you out. All right, looking for a hit and roll somewhere pesky. Did you roll to the outer 12 and hope that it's harder out there?
I think that's basically what you have to do. Change up the look a little bit and hope that if you can hang one off the edge of the 12 foot way out on the wings, you might get a line that nobody's seen before, or maybe a poor throw, but you're hoping for a miss, that's for sure. Izzy Patterson on the scrub. Little roll to the center line, and that should be a familiar line. We've seen a lot of play up the center.
Yeah, it was a bit out.
And here's to our earlier point of even a half shot here is good enough.
Yeah.
Defending junior deuces is always easier. Hit and stick. To our earlier point, even roll to a wing and see if Kaylee can't muscle the outer 12. There's all kinds of choices.
Yeah. Melody Forsyth with her last rock in the 5th. One more to come from Newfoundland. Looking for a make it go away red. Has
Pretty
contact.
much knows. A little roll. There we go.
A little roll wide.
It's always a fun debate. Do you prefer to leave it in the middle because it's a longer roll to blank the end, or do you prefer to put it out on the edge where they haven't thrown a rock yet? I prefer to put it where they haven't thrown yet to make them try something different than just whiz a normal down the middle.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Try to change up the look. When you see the same shot over and over again, you know, you get a really good idea of where to put the broom, what weight to throw.
Yep.
And if you can mix it up, even if it was a shot that you threw a few ends ago, you know, things might have changed since then. So. Nice control weight here. Looks like they're trying to stick it for 1 point. Get rid of that pesky hammer. Get themselves on the board. And talk about changing up the look. They will get themselves on the board with a single point. They'll go to the 5th end break, have a little chat with coach, and we'll take a break too. So come back in about 5 minutes or so. We'll be back with the 6th after this.
When I think New Holland, the first word that would come to my mind, I would think success. I think without it, for me, the success isn't there.
Whenever you deal with somebody so long and they take care of you, you remember that.
New Holland builds products that will continue to evolve and make the farmer more efficient, that can produce food for the world.
Nutrient Ag Solutions. Everything you need to win the season and go full seat ahead.
Hey, Canada, come on into Montana's, where weekdays have turned into deal days. Why not check out our half-price wings every Monday, $5 tacos on Tuesdays, all-you-can-eat ribs Wednesdays, and drink deals every day, only at Montana's.
Here's to those who ask how. Like Kevin, who asked Janine from Home Hardware how to build a place to work. Or not work. Or Siobhan, who took Josh's advice and created a front yard worthy of this TV commercial. Or Eric and Sasha, who asked Julie how to reimagine their backyard so they could be more outdoorsy. Complete your next project with helpful advice from thousands of store owners and team members across Canada. Home Hardware and Building Centers, here's how.
The sports landscape continues to change, and teams and facilities are under more pressure to provide online and in-venue entertainment. They need the right team to deliver their product. Look no further than IKS Live. We provide service across North America and produce the best fan experience across all platforms.
Everything I've worked for, everything I've sacrificed, has led to this. It's out of your hands now. All the gold medals in the world can't help you now. You could throw the perfect rock and still miss, but it just takes one. You leave it all out there on the ice to leave behind a legacy.
And welcome back to the Suncor Community Leisure Center at McDonald Island Park in Fort McMurray, Wood Buffalo, Alberta. You're tuning in for the New Holland Canadian U21 Championships. My name's Brian Chick. We've got Gord Coppathorne with us. And we are headed into the sixth end of action between Newfoundland 1, skipped by Kaylee Locke out of the Remax Center in St. John's, versus New Brunswick's Melody Forsyth out of the Capital Winter Club in Fredericton. An all Atlantic Canada battle. Yeah. And so far, it's been all New Brunswick. A million rocks in play, and just New Brunswick's been getting out ahead and making Newfoundland chase. So, with a score from Newfoundland, with a single point, they've gotten rid of that hammer, have opted for the center guard, and sometimes I think that they were down 5-0, just wanted to stop the bleeding, change things up, and try a different approach here. Go for the steal.
They also chose to start playing around the center anyway. So other than not having last rock, the center is your color. You're probably going to get first chance to go behind it. You're going to have a point on the board. So there's value in that thought.
Well, there you go. They've got a slight miscue from New Brunswick. They go deep and wide with their guard. That's probably not going to be the one that scores. So they can ignore it and be first to the pin.
So now you have 8 rocks to their 7, though they throw last.
Mine's good. Mine's good.
It's still making analogies to mixed doubles. One of the things that we really preach is make your first shots extra valuable, so they have to chase you.
Yeah.
So sure, they may have last rock, but you've now made 2 really well executed throws, and they have to now chase you.
Well, and there it is, a pretty decent offering from Izzy Patterson. Maybe pokes out the other side a little bit. Good center guard and a good draw, but I think the draw was too good. Came out the other side, and
this
Paige Brewer's going to have a crack at it.
This could be a byproduct of not being used to 5 feet of curl. They played in the arena probably last draw, so you know it's easy to pop out the other side. Oh, this is on the guard. Oh, it's not. Ooh, that was paper. I would still call that a happy rock for Newfoundland. That yellow one on the edge of the button does not make them cry.
Yeah, wide open, nothing to fret about yet. But yeah, Newfoundland's only played 1 game, and that was on the curling club side. So this is their first arena game.
It takes a lot of practice and coaching to get used to missing guards by 6-8 inches to know you're going to be fully buried. That is not a typical rink curling.
Yeah, you can miss a guard by 1.5 feet here and still get it totally covered.
So this one here, you're actually going to either want to be nose frozen or, again, air on yours peeking out the far side so that any kind of a hit smacks into the yellow.
We get a little bounce here and the roll under.
Well, that's solid. You'd love it if you were showing the other side of yours so that a hit is aimed at the yellow. But there's enough guard on that rock that they have to keep their rocks kind of clustering behind the tee line.
Hey, you got your center guard. You're going to get some rocks in the 4-foot, and it only takes 1 good shot to steal. So if you can get some things to play with and then execute that 1 good shot and either get it totally frozen or in that pocket, a steal could certainly be on the board.
Trying to encourage some curl.
Rebecca Watson trying to carve it over. Looks like they'll get a good chunk and sit there.
I would love to see them just push that yellow one back.
Yeah, you want to start playing your freezes and taps here.
I would not be throwing normal at this. I would love to see push this to the back of the 4-foot. Even just bounce the 2 yellows, make some backing. Hard to get the red one out.
Oh, I think they heard you. Yeah, you need to create a little pocket back there and give yourself a chance to use their rocks.
Nose tap, slightly high side with like back 8 would be a brilliant shot right now.
Yeah, I like nose with back 4.
Sure. I'm picturing a little pop of the 2, but in that ballpark, right? Just under the tee line.
Exactly. Something like that would be pretty good.
Back line. Now the audible here would be cross the face and roll back under the center guard.
Yeah, it looks like that's what they've taken on now.
No, they're going to roll out again.
Little chip and a roll under. A little too much roll. Needed to call that plan B a hair sooner.
Still keeping the rocks under the tee line, which early on is better for red. Even if New Brunswick hits this, they roll out. There's 2 yellows on the right side. They stay there. There's now more behind the tee line. Yeah. This is building up to be
if they ever nose it or accidentally roll in a hair, then all of a sudden
a giant wall of granite.
There's a wall of granite, but
okay, this is wise. This is a good choice.
I was wondering how long that guard was going to last. There's Kaylee Smith going to just rip that center guard and take away Newfoundland's hope of having something to sit behind.
A little in out on that release.
Oh,
maybe a lot in out on that release. Well, that was a fortuitous
one way to do
outcome. Basically made an unintentional double, which makes it better for New Brunswick, all things considered.
You improved your situation, but not at all how you wanted to. And yeah, that does hurt Newfoundland's chances just a little bit.
Put one top 4 under that guard, make them go after the peel again.
Haley Gushu looking for that draw. She's had decent draw weight all day today, so looking to just sink one. Top 4, totally buried.
I'm hearing back 4, back 8.
A lot of room moving now. Back 4, back 8. Okay, good job. Didn't get it. Not stopping.
So over curled and a little heavy, but a rock can play.
Yeah.
What do you like?
Not a lot's typically going to change here. I suppose they're going to go for the peel again. They should.
Yeah. And then Newfoundland will have the opportunity to maybe freeze on the outside yellow or the 4-foot yellow, and just you need any rocks in play to hopefully generate an opportunity to steal, or at least make Melody Forsyth throw something a little more difficult. Rebecca Watson going to get contact on the peel and the roll, and that's called and made.
I would throw a guard or two here. I wouldn't be throwing the freeze just yet, but at least they're trying to create off of what's in play. I would throw another center guard in front of your own red one for at least one more.
Yeah, I think I would agree. You're hoping for a missed peel or just the bonk, hit it right on the nose and
keep
leave your own rock there.
Absolute disaster would be slightly over curling this freeze, and then it's basically a triple. Because New Brunswick has no desire for that one to stay biting the back of the 4-foot.
Line looks pretty good on this. If the weight's right, this could be really good. They got to get it there.
That is a very well thrown freeze.
That is perfect.
That makes everything I say rather moot.
That really nicely done. That's a hard shot to do that well.
This is where you wish you had a 5-second peel and just get everything moving. But odds are that red one's going to be shot for a rock.
Well, we'll see how hard Rebecca Watson can throw it. A little poke.
Yeah. Whoa. Nice. Curl a bit. Curl.
If you're inside a nose and roll towards the other red, that's not a bad outcome.
This is pretty good. Got a little click off.
You're shot under the tee line with a pesky yellow. Guard would be the daring but nice shot. Hitting and rolling the yellow is just going to cluster your rocks together, and I think Melody will be happy with that. I would certainly be happy with just smash rocks.
I kind of
like freeze the yellow is a really nice shot.
I was just thinking that. We're going to have a coach interaction here from Sandra Sparrow. I like the corner freeze as well. Let's listen in what Sandra says.
All right, I think we need to leave that rock there. We need to make it work for us. Okay. All right, so let's try the corner freeze. Okay.
Smart lady.
Came from your school of curling.
Well, I like what she said. Make that rock work for us. And when I was taught from a very young age, when you're way behind, any rock and play is your friend.
All right, guys, give me a number.
So we just saw one perfect freeze. Can Newfoundland and Labrador do it again?
And they just had a very mature team conversation. What did Haley throw? What should I throw? What kind of number are we looking for? What is this path doing? Very, very mature conversation.
I think we're down. Just top 4.
Light is absolutely the way to miss here. Heavy makes yours doubleable. Light makes a guard of some sort.
Yeah, line looks pretty good, similar to Haley's.
15-10, that's pretty close to T-line weight.
Line is really good, weight looks pretty good, and I think that is pretty ideal.
That is a very nice shot.
2 inches heavy.
Yeah.
Little bump back. Sit 2. Like that.
But still, now you've got New Brunswick throwing taps and draws and really precise weight shots. Hard shots, as opposed to just get up and whip it.
Yep. Yep.
And that's all you can ask for.
If you'd have done it on a piece of paper, you would have liked them dead frozen and a little more corner frozen, but that was a really, really nice throw.
But now, as Coach Sandra said, you're making that yellow rock work for you. That's protecting one of your stones, and that's all you can ask for.
The nice thing with that little bit of separation she created is you can actually use it on an angle if New Brunswick makes a really nice rock here.
Still think 35.
Because they're trying to just move that red one out of the back of the forefoot, and they may leave their yellow in a tough spot, but you now got some room to work with that separation. Line's tight. Now they've changed their mind on that one. Now they're trying to make it curl. And now make it uncurl.
Little rub on the way by, little roll on the way by, and now Kaylee Locke will have a nice little pocket there to draw into.
I would love to see it right in there. Slightly past nose on your own. I think we all quickly saw how nice of a pocket they just formed.
And as we said before, that's all you can ask for. You leave as many rocks around as you can, and then this is that one shot that's going to take. If you make this really well, you can steal.
And they're making New Brunswick go at them with hard shots, and they overplayed that one. They had it, they switched to make it curl, and it started to curl, and then, unfortunately, they clipped on the front one. They had the shot they were after, just slightly mismanaged the curl. And now you've got a great opportunity for one here.
Yeah, Kaylee just threw this, so you expect it to be close.
Safeway is a little on the lighter side. Then you end up guarding that one. It's not ideal, but it's the safe way. You wouldn't want to be heavy and push yours through.
Yeah, if you happen to lock this in there, it's
absolutely
really difficult to score one unless you draw the side of the pin, or you just bonk it on the nose and give up
them one. That's what I would do if I was New Brunswick. Yeah, you earned one. Oh, this is a little more than her first one.
Hair more is not terrible, but you don't want too much more. It's definitely a wider line.
They really need this to grab the curl and start moving. It's close.
There it goes. Oh, this looks really good.
Oy! Would have loved to not clip the front red, but that's still a pretty good outcome.
Yeah. Hit as much as I can see of it.
That little rub on the way by just made it not quite perfect, but that's still pretty good.
If that stagger was exactly the opposite side of nose, she's just drilling it and giving you one.
Yeah, if that rock finishes an inch to the left of where it was, like I said, still not bad. It's tough to make this, tough to make the top red go anywhere. You have to still get close to the top left red if you want to try to spring this out the side. However, if you do and you can throw it hard enough, it could be for 3.
It's you know, throw firm, hit 7/8 slow.
Yeah, just a little.
All 3 reds move at least some.
This is one where you want that 5-second peel in your bag.
Yeah, this is where throw it through the parking lot wait is nice.
Oh, pretty good shove on this.
They've got some curl going.
Needs
really
to
close.
Needs to come up a bit more.
Little thick.
But little hope for Newfoundland. A steal. They will trail 5-2. We'll be back after a short break.
Nutrien Ag Solutions. Everything you need to win the season and go full seed ahead.
A steal from Newfoundland. Still showing signs of life. It was a little slow going for the first few ends, but they, like I said, got rid of that pesky hammer and they made it work.
The center line's their friend right now. Small oops there. They're not actually on the center line. That guard is not subject to the tick rule.
It's funny how that one 1 centimeter can make the difference. Does that rock stay there or not? It doesn't matter in this particular case. Newfoundland or New Brunswick not taking it on.
To your point, it's about intent.
Yeah.
That's another one where if they actually went to go ticket, you kind of go, hey, come on now.
Yep. To your back. Yep. Keep going. Yep.
How do you feel about that draw to the wing call? It's controversial. I know people who have opinions.
The only thing I like about it is your rock is not creating a mess of the 4-foot. So you can get into a hitting game if that's what you're after. If that's not your forte, then I do not like it. Because plus or minus 1 in the 4-foot, taking 1 here for New Brunswick is not going to be a bad outcome. I don't love them over there.
No, I understand why people do it. It just, that rock so rarely comes into play that you kind of wonder, like you said before, you're playing 7 rocks versus 8 when you put it over there.
It ends up being a freebie point to put the game in the locker if, to your point, it comes into play. But at this level, it shouldn't be a meaningful rock.
Yeah, we just saw a pretty textbook steal end from Newfoundland and Labrador where it's just all freezes and taps. I don't think they threw a hit the entire 8 shots. And as a result, Kaylee Locke makes a good one with her 8th and puts it in a spot where it's very difficult to remove, and that's how you steal. So I think they'll be looking to do the same thing again in the 7th.
The piece I find most fascinating about what Newfoundland's trying to do is they don't throw many guards. Like they throw the first one, and they seem to not be inclined to throw too many more throughout the ends.
No, that's true. You'll see a lot of people when they're trying to steal try to get those 2 vertical center guards, and
as it is now, they have 1 halfway guard. That's almost tough to work with because it's high enough that hack weight hits can get around it. It's too high for double guards because then you're not really creating what you're after. It's just interesting to me, having played a lot of swingy ice curling. Those long, halfway long guards are great when you only got 2 feet of curl. They're not so great when you have 6 feet of curl.
Yeah. They are throwing the guard this time, but it looks like it's got a little extra weight. This is becoming probably pretty tight to the house.
A tight guard would be great.
Yeah, if you can just stagger these a bit, get a little overlap. That's not bad. That's usable.
Made the most of it. I like it. You can only see half of any of them. A bit of a Colleen Jones Christmas tree.
They are fairly vertical. Now the free guard zone no longer applies. After that 5th shot, you will see Kaylee Smith take on a potential triple here if you do it right.
Watch that yellow one they threw back there.
Well, catcher hanging on the edge.
Yeah, they're playing the direction where that's in play.
Just over curls by a hair, rolls for a corner. And now you see Newfoundland try to take advantage of that stagger and lob one into the 4-foot right behind those 2 reds.
I do like how they're attacking their, let's say, less successful hitting game than drawing game. Now the question is, when does New Brunswick say, you know, enough of enough? Let's go back to what, to your point, they were winning with.
Yeah, I think, like we said it just before the break, you know, Newfoundland just wanted to stop the bleeding, change up the approach a little bit, and that change seems to have been somewhat successful so far. I mean, still losing on the scoreboard, but you can almost feel a little bit of a momentum shift.
I know if I'm Newfoundland's coach, I'm sitting there pumping the "you're doing a great job" speech. Newfoundland is doing what they want. New Brunswick's playing into it and making small enough mistakes.
Beautiful shot there from Tay Penny. Covers the pin, totally buried. And now New Brunswick's going to be doing the chasing again.
And that yellow rock over there is still not their friend at the moment. There's a lot of ways these reds can land on that yellow one.
You were saying?
Ouch.
Our normal broadcast partner, Andrew Denny, says, I sometimes have a crystal ball, and as soon as you mention something like that, it manifests into reality. And no, it's not a crystal ball. It's just having been around the game long enough to know that sometimes these things happen, and you almost get that spidey sense when something starts to tingle like that. I don't like that there, and that's going to be a problem later.
I understood their choice of turn there in the sense of possibly getting multiple reds moving. But you create the worst outcome as a potential. If they take the other turn, highly unlikely that that's an outcome.
This one has a little extra weight, and you don't want to line these up. You may have, there may be a slight drag effect triple here.
That is, I would say, close enough for the drag to work with you. I think they say the general rule of thumb is about 6 inches. The drag will still-ish work, and it's about 4 inches apart.
It depends on your rocks, your striking bands, and the amount of overlap, but I think a hair low, nose or a hair low on this would be pretty good. You might get 3 going.
Looking really close.
Enough to make contact, but not to remove. A little fortunate there for Newfoundland. That the red survived. If you hit that in the same spot a little bit harder.
Yep.
But good on Melody Forsyth for lining those up. A lot of people hit that on the wrong side, thinking their geometry. Oh, we've got a technical timeout. Not sure what's going on. We had a little problem yesterday with loose handles, so it might be the same.
Judging by Gushu's reaction, her rock is not
We'll have one of the ice techs run down with a wrench to tighten that one up. Or an umpire.
One of the outstanding umpire crew heading down to give a hand.
We spoke about it yesterday with the chair of the event, Tyler Spitzer, have just the number of people it takes to put on an event like this, and the number of officials and volunteers, and everybody's just been fantastic. And when you're playing 8 games at a time, you've got an army of officials all over the building, and they're doing a great job. We're just waiting for an ice tech here to come make an adjustment.
To even throw a little bit more complexity into it, they're running basically 2 facilities.
Yep. The nice thing is that the facilities are essentially across the street from, or across the hall from each other. This building, as we said before, is massive and impressive, but the curling club is about a 10-second walk down the hall, and it's an 8-sheet club. Only 3 sheets being used for this particular competition. But 8 games on at all times, and a whole pile of Curling Canada officials from all over the country have come in to make sure the game is played fairly.
There's the handy little wrench you're talking about. For those of you who may be curious, these are Curling Canada's standard rocks with lights and everything. They are not actually using the rock lights. So if anybody is seeing blinking red lights and going, why aren't they pulling these rocks off? It's because they aren't actually using that, and some of them are blinking red because it feels like it's Christmas, not because they threw it wrong.
No, we definitely saw a lot of that in our previous games. The rocks aren't, I think the system is in place in the ice, but is not functioning properly, so you will see some red lights for no good reason, and everybody's just kind of, for example.
Speak of the devil.
Everybody's just kind of agreed to ignore any blinking red lights because they're not acting as they're supposed to. And we saw a bit of that during some of the other championships this year.
They also have standard rocks in the rink side, so they aren't lit handles from what I recall. All right, so here's a bit of a, shall we say, erroring the wrong way. They were trying to throw top 12. Okay. Guard. Okay. Sliding down to the 4-foot. Not so okay, but hey, you still have 3 rocks in play.
Yep. Interesting call from New Brunswick here to hit and roll the wide one. A lot of people would be tempted to play the easier double, but if Melody Forsyth is thinking 2 here, not to get forced. So if she can roll frozen or get the double on the outside and take advantage of that corner, there could be a 2 or a multiple score on the board.
We are very much on the same page there. Don't just defend against points. Go and try to score your 2.
Any roll. Okay.
Didn't quite execute, but the call was... I liked it.
Yeah, I liked it.
The double was an easy call, but it's just a dead duck out there. The roll frozen, because there is a guard up there, would have been a really smart call. Or play. It was the call.
It was the call, yeah. It just wasn't quite executed.
That's just up 4th. That is just up 4th, so just dead nose.
Now, nose hit here would be really a really good spot. Too steep for a double. Hit and roll would be a really short raise. I very much like just nose this one.
Yeah, it really makes the double difficult.
The hit and roll doesn't roll anywhere nice. The short roll is only going to be a 2-foot raise.
This has a long way to curl, though. It's working its way over. Nice control weight. Right on the beak.
Excellent shot.
Now it's that dreaded right angle. You see their potential triple there, but
Okay.
Technically there.
I think one of them jams. I think if you make the double, you're going over the top. It's close.
You like this? Try the triple. Peel.
I think if you make the wide in-off double, the first rock jams, and if you make the run back double, then you go over the top of the other one. But it's really close. It may be there.
Yeah, peel.
Brings that biter in the very top right back into play.
Yeah, if you make it, that all of a sudden really would change the complexion of this end. Melody Forsyth with her
away.
first in the 7th, looking for a triple.
It's going to be too thick. Going for the roll. Back to the original plan from the last shot.
All things considered, not a terrible result.
That's possibly the second best outcome.
Yeah, that's kind of what she was trying to do on her first one.
There's enough of a guard out there that Newfoundland can't deal with that yellow one.
Yeah, so that rolled to a pretty good spot. It's mostly buried, and it has the backing, so even if you were to take a piece of it, it would probably just run onto the red. Kaylee Locke just trying to sit 2 in a no double situation.
I'm not sure so much why they're corner freezing as much as just throwing rock over there to sit 2.
Yeah,
there's no steal in this situation, short of a miss.
Yeah, the freeze is not the important part here, but sitting second shot absolutely is.
They seem really intent on being corner frozen to the yellow, which isn't required.
So with her last shot of the 7th end, looking to sit 2, Kaylee Locke from Newfoundland and Labrador trying to put the force on.
Got a little bounce going, which, again, as long as your second shot is fine.
Little bump's okay, as long as you sit second. And they'd have pretty good results.
Almost left it too long, but it worked out.
I think it's them, yeah. Yeah. You like this with 9-5? Yep. 9-5? Yeah.
Good force here from Newfoundland and Labrador, and
yeah, it goes at the end.
still maybe a sneaky chance for a steal if this rolls too far.
Yeah.
Based on what we've seen with open hits, they're not a guarantee.
Okay.
So, Coach Brian, 7th end quick chat. Do you tell Newfoundland stick with playing down the center or open it up with a corner again?
I say stick with what's working. The last 3 ends have been way more effective for Newfoundland with trying to get New Brunswick throwing the hits, getting them to chase. And we might have another example of it here.
May be a moot in this conversation we're having.
And here we go, another steal on the board for Newfoundland. So suddenly we got a game going here. We will be right back after the break for the 8th end.
That's okay, Melody. Shoot, that's okay. Just...
When I think New Holland, the first word that would come to my mind, I would think success. I think without it, for me, the success isn't there.
Whenever you deal with somebody so long and they take care of you, you remember that.
New Holland builds products that will continue to evolve and make the farmer more efficient, that can produce food for the world.
Everything I've worked for, everything I've sacrificed, has led to this. It's out of your hands now. All the gold medals in the world can't help you now. You can throw the perfect rock and still miss, but it just takes one. You leave it all out there on the ice to leave behind a legacy.
Hey, Canada, come on into Montana's where weekdays have turned into deal days. Why not check out our half-price wings every Monday, $5 tacos on Tuesdays, all-you-can-eat ribs Wednesdays, and drink deals every day, only at Montana's.
Welcome back to the Suncor Community Leisure Center at McDonald Island Park in Fort McMurray, Wood Buffalo, Alberta. My name is Brian Chick, and I'm here with Gord Coppathorne, and you are watching the New Holland Canadian U21 Championships. And what started off as a little lopsided of a blowout is turning into something quite a bit closer after a point and 2 steals from Newfoundland. They're chipping away at this 5-point lead.
They are being scrappy, if nothing else, and they're learning from their mistakes. Point in fact, they put that second guard a little bit tighter this time, or that first guard a little bit tighter this time, so that they have more room to stack them up.
Yeah, Izzy Patterson put the first guard maybe 1 foot out of the house, and now they'll look for a higher one to closer to that one just over the hog line position to give themselves a borderline impossible double.
I think this is my least favorite shot to throw in curling.
Oh, it's scary.
1 foot over the hog line.
It's scary.
How much trust can you put in your entire team? And who goes out of their way to throw 19 or 20-second shots?
Yep. We did see a 20 and a half second guard. A little tighter than they would have liked it, but still pretty good result. Those are perfectly vertical, which means there's no double peel without leaving a guard. And that's why you try to do that.
So now we see New Brunswick has decided, you know what, tit for tat, let's also chase around the center. So no rocks out in the wings to catch red rocks this time.
Yep, we are in for an exciting end if everybody's playing to the button.
Mixed doubles, anyone?
Exactly. So Paige Brewer with her second, trying to loop one in behind those guards.
Out there, but we've seen a lot of curl on this sheet.
Keep going. Go. Yep. Good sweep. Really good sweep. Nice, Paige. 15-3.
Just saw Kaylee asking for just move the rocks around, don't hit them, which I absolutely support.
Hack weight, still probably a little bit more than I'd want to throw here, but I agree. You want to bump those around. You want to leave them in play. You're going for steals. You want those catchers at the back of the rings.
Even back 4 is a great place for it. So Kaylee tapped for the rock to only slide to the back 4, back 8, and then they said hack weight. So interesting gap in that.
Also, lines getting tight on this. You got to squeak these by the guards. By 1, but not 2.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah.
To your point, that was also probably heavy. The shooter clearly left play, which meant you were in the hack to easy board kind of.
Definitely looked like a lot of weight for that particular call, but yeah, ticking the guard, not ideal there.
New Brunswick is
peeling the guard.
Yeah.
Curl.
I was doing a quick count of rocks in my head to see if that was an acceptable choice.
Yeah, I had to do the same thing. There were 2 guards, and there was
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, yes, good. Peeling.
2 guards, 2 draws, and then the tick on the guard. So that was 5. This is totally allowed.
Now Newfoundland feels uncomfortable. So now they're going to play the guard game for a little bit. Newfoundland will guard. New Brunswick will peel. I would probably throw at least a couple of guards. They're now talking about rattling those yellows again. To me, a hair early, because that's bringing all the play into the house without any guards.
Yeah, the scary thing is when you throw a guard when they're already sitting top 4 staggered, you go, do I really want to guard them, or where do you want to put it? So I don't mind this little bump, but it does kind of derail your steal attempt a little bit.
With that stagger of those yellows, you can actually get around them on this crazy swingy ice.
You absolutely could. We call that the Bruce Lonis, but you got to be of a certain age to remember why. That's not a bad result either, though. Get rid of it. Sit frozen.
New Brunswick happy to eliminate red. Pick the easiest one first.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Whoa, whoa, curl.
Okay,
just enough of it.
Puts it in the corner. Good enough.
Now do you throw a guard?
I'm always an advocate of guards when you're trying to steal. Even when they may seem awkward, I'm an advocate of guards. This shot will be there 2, 3, 4 shots from now.
Yeah.
So guard, peel, then go underneath of it.
Yeah, this stagger isn't really quite staggered enough to be useful, because even if you do kind of bury a good chunk of this, those can be run back and picked. So you almost don't want to be totally buried. You want to be maybe half buried.
Exactly. Yep.
Because there is a slight angle there, and you can take advantage of it. But yeah, I think maybe I throw a guard here. See what New Brunswick is willing to risk.
To your point, if you throw a guard and they maybe don't get rid of it, then you go around it, then you don't even have to worry that the lineup is aimed at it, because there's now also a guard in front.
This one's going to curl. You got to be on it. Oh. That is not ideal.
It would have been nice to see them roll them apart as much as they could. That actually would have been a really hard double if it had rolled even an inch farther.
Yeah, I think the more likely audible there was just to be off it and let it curl a little bit there.
I think that's what they were trying for. They didn't sweep it from the hog line in much, but anyways.
This not going to get the double.
No, not going to get the double. Okay. And there's a sandwich of rocks.
And now you got...
Now that looks really nice, because to your point, there is no easy, obvious hit.
If you can make the perfect draw here, it's a really good chance to steal.
You draw back there, they drill the front one, yellow vanishes, red sitting, edge of 4, 2 yellows at the front. Not great, but hey, you have a rock in the back of the 4-foot.
So Haley Gushu just threw a draw, so she just got to maybe throw 3, 4 more feet of weight. Line's a little bit better on this one, but I still think it's going to curl.
We've seen lots of curl in this path. It's already really tight to the front.
Line's getting tight, and they're going to bounce.
That's really unfortunate. You would have really liked to not mess with those front ones.
It's still not bad, but it's not good. You know?
It's trading half punches. Nobody's progressing. Everybody's still got a chance.
It's a slap fight.
Yep. Yep.
So.
One rock that's really gonna. It's the middle one.
Oh, yeah,
if I'm yellow, I probably drill the yellow to get rid of the yellow and the red and open up the 4-foot.
We got a coach's interaction here. Let's listen in.
Off the top, right?
Pretty tough.
This we're getting rid of those two.
Yeah, that's there too.
Do you like the double?
Yeah, okay.
So this we're getting rid of our back yellow.
Right there and hit, yeah.
Okay.
Coach Wayne Talon. Basically, it's almost a nose hit on the red, and you could pick the middle yellow out the side door there. So that's what they've decided to take on. Not a lot of risk here that I can imagine.
Yes!
The only downside is you leave the, I would say, more dangerous red one still in play, if not doubled, but looking really good. Nice shot.
Just like that.
Very nice shot.
Now Newfoundland and Labrador looking at a big score without hammer and pretty much nowhere to hide.
I'm thinking this right now.
And not even a nice way to rearrange rocks.
Let her make it.
Like you can't make a nice tap and
We play something on my last.
Great shot there from Rebecca Watson. Just changes the complexion of this end completely.
Newfoundland finds himself in a similar position to the second end of how do we minimize damage.
Kaylee Locke going to take on what seems to be the easiest double, which should get you a roll.
Cross-face double roll under the corner-ish rock.
There might be a triple there. If you hit half a rock and kick it sideways, you only have to move the top, the one that's barely biting the top 12. You could probably go into the side of that and push it out. So.
Yep, I wouldn't disagree. The triples, they tapped for the roll under the yellow, but I actually like your triple call.
There you go. Throwing Peel. It's got to stay out there. I think she's close. Ooh, needed another foot of weight, otherwise.
Yep.
But yellow only sits 1 now. It's better than it was. Yeah, just if
too thick.
An inch. If that curls an inch less, it's probably a fully made triple. Instead, yellow still has the chance to sit 4.
Yeah, knows it. Yeah.
Melody Forsyth looking for basically a nose hit, maybe a little bit of roll to the left to sit 4.
Queen! You're good.
Gets the biter in the top, and now Newfoundland with a choice.
Make draw.
I guess, you can make a easy double to only give them 3, but that doesn't help you at this stage of the game, so you got to draw for your life.
You actually want almost as much separation as you can. It would be tempting to throw it in the 4-foot to still try to get a steal, but in my book, back 8 is probably ideal so that those run backs are as hard as possible and goad her into just drawing for 1.
Absolutely. If you can bury this one back 8 foot, even back 12, as long as you're shot, try to get Melody to take on one of those 8-foot run backs and hope for a miss.
Yep.
So Kaylee Locke with a must-make draw here.
No release, stay close.
They're saying back 4. Stay close. This line's starting to go.
This is going to move. Oh, you're on the guard. Well, call it guard. You're on the front one.
Just late on the sweeping call there. That was obviously a hair tight, and this looks like it's a hit for 5, and that may be handshakes at this stage of the game, with 8 ends being the minimum play. And a 10-3 scoreboard might put the finishing touches on this. So nose hit for a 5.
It was a 9-6.
So tragic there. They had manageable weight.
Yeah.
They had it T-ish without sweeping, so they could have swept it to the back 12 to try to keep it from crashing.
Yeah, just a little bit late on the line call, and that tick was unfortunately a death blow.
This is a nice looking control hit. Over curling.
Over curling a little bit. Try to avoid the jam.
All right, got away with it.
4 on the board anyway. And it does look like that will be handshakes. So a 9-3 final. Melody Forsyth and New Brunswick 1 remain undefeated with a 3-0 record. We'll be back at 2 p.m. local time for a men's draw. Please join us then, and thanks for joining us on Curling Canada Plus. We'll see you this afternoon.